Valley School District School Board meeting to order. Roll call?
Tracy Bricky,
Here.
Peggy Jones Blanchard. Here. Sally Hurst Dickinson. Here. Eric Hansen. Here. Julia Jones. Here. Lauren Martin. Here. Melissa Muzzy. Jessica Wheeler Russell.
Here.
Laura Vincent. Here. Ben Nicole.
Here.
Thank you.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No.
So the minutes of the previous board meeting, they were in your packet, and they are they were in the online packet. They're also in your paper packet. Any corrections? Can I ask a question? Bill, were you here at the last board meeting on November 2nd? Okay, for some reason, when I got the minutes, I was like, I don't remember Bill Hines being there. Okay, all right, thank you. Any corrections, additions? Sally? Sort of like Bueller.
All right, so just a couple. Item 8, letter C. Let's see. At the very last line of that, I would hyphenate evidence-based in evidence-based instruction. In 10C, I would change Jessie's last name, the spelling of her last name. It should have 2 L's. Let's see. In line, item 13, line 3, there is a fused sentence, so we just need to find the end of one and the beginning of the other. This year, an area of focus is positive behavior expectations. I drop a period in there. And then so far, faculty members have mailed, and so on and so forth. Item 14, there's an unclear statement in line 2 with the sentence beginning, legal advice was received. So it reads, legal advice was received at the Kidder Law Conference and discussion on some of the major topics. And so I'm just wondering if there's a way that we can rephrase it so that it's a little more clear. I wasn't there, so I'm not sure what happened. So whoever was there, if they can propose a change to that.
You were there.
I was there.
Can you think of some of the ways?
And engaged in discussion on some of the major topics.
Right. Or would it just be there was discussion on some of the major topics? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is super granular. I would relocate the period in the last line of item 14 inside the quotation marks. The British do it the other way. And then, let's see, item 17.
You didn't know Kristen was vacationing in London when she did this.
Just in case you're doing that.
Let's see. Yeah, I've moved on to item 17, and I'm trying to find return to public session. I think there's a T following Jessie's last name.
Also Wheeler, Russell, spelled wrong on 17, the last one.
All right. And I think that's good enough.
No, that's it. No, that's fine. That's my name.
Is it?
Yes, that's my name.
Okay, just for good.
I also have one in the non-public meetings. My name is added. There's a T added at the end of my name.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry, I misheard you. So,
Sally did say that, yes.
oh, I'm sorry.
She is,
I was trying to explain
Eagle
how to
eye.
spell my name.
she is
Yeah, right.
eagle eye.
I turned it over.
Anybody else have any corrections or additions? All those in favor of the minutes as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okey dokey. Alrighty then. Next, public comment. Okay, seeing none, we'll go right to the finance report.
You should have the finance report. I do apologize for how it printed out like this. It was supposed to look like that. Very nice. So it is a little bit small in that printed copy, but on the cover page has some of the overages. Slight change from past practice. This went with function totals. That way we can just take a look at those. I thought this was easier to be able to jump back and then look at how a function might be over. I'm happy to try to answer any questions about any of the things that you'd find anywhere in the report.
I have one question. So this first on the overages, could you just clarify to me what line item was it? 1211 special education ESY. What exactly is that?
That's a function total
Yeah.
of a number of different lines. So 1211 is the function. So if you go to the 1211 function, it shows the breakdown of the special ed, and ESY stands for extended school year.
Thank you. That's what I was wondering. It's not enough for me to harass you on a Sunday. I gotta ask you here too.
That's correct.
Other questions?
What was the building improvements overage for?
That was a result of the installation of the track. I believe there were some other projects that were part of that, but that was the big ticket item.
This is a second question, I guess, for me. If we,
Can you turn your
am I
microphone?
not on?
I don't know if you were or not.
Nope, I wasn't.
If we have a budget that says we're going to expend a certain amount of money for the year, and while there's some overages, obviously for special ed or
Mhm.
transportation, things that we can't foresee, but when we're talking about installing a new track, which is not a need, but a want, I would say, why would we exceed the budget that was voted on by the voters for that?
I think there might be a couple of reasons, but this also led to what Catherine and I laid out for the future financial well-being for the district and looking at some past practices. And I think that was, primarily due to the money that was in the MET, with the idea that that money could be taken. With the switch and how we sort of lock things down to try to stay within those boundaries. I think that's part of that move. But I think to answer that question, I think having that money in the MET and having that listed, I believe that was how that occurred.
We have our maintenance plan, and it was in the maintenance plan.
It was, and that it was getting to the point with safety that it was do one of two things. It was either 100 and I'm going to get this number wrong, but 130,000 to do an improvement that would possibly hold up for four years, and then have to replace the track, or to do the whole thing. And the decision was made to rebuild instead of throwing good money after bad to do those improvements when it was going to have to be improved again in a fairly short term.
Any other questions on the finance report? Okay, then, good news. Oh, sorry, we do need to vote for accept it. It says right here, action is requested. Can I have a motion for the finance report, please?
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor of the finance report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we can go on to good news. So we had a lot of good news in the digital packet, and we are having a report and a presentation from LES. And Mr. Bartlett.
Microphone. So what we did at LES this fall, and I'm going to wait till Mrs. Masterson kind of cues it up. So we started a bike bus. And anyone who knows what a bike bus is, or maybe you don't, I'm not sure, kind of an interesting topic, ironic because of what you were talking about with buses. But so basically a bike bus is just like a regular bus, except everyone rides their bikes. We pick kids up we set a route. So I have a bunch of adults here that got involved. We have teachers, we have Chief Flanders who got involved, we have parents and kids. So we got together and we kind of formed a route this fall, and then we just kind of started biking, and we would pick kids up along the route. We also had a staging area on, what road is that? North Village Road, where parents would drop all their kids off. And then we would start biking to school. I saw this stuff on Instagram. I don't know if anyone else has ever seen it on Instagram. Maybe I troll Instagram too much. I'm not sure. But I saw a stat, I think it was and I'm going to get my dates wrong maybe a little bit, but 1960, 60% of kids either rode to school or walked to school or whatever. And I think the last time they did this stat, it was 2012. It was like 9% of kids were riding to school or walking to school. So we just got together and started thinking about it. And I said, hey, do you think we can do this? And a whole crew of people said, yeah, we can do it. And I'm going to show you a quick movie so you can see kind of what it looks like. Quick, the most important thing with that movie, thumbs up or thumbs down on the music, because I thought it was awesome. We had some debates over here among some people. Yeah, it was good stuff, right? I contemplated Queen if I ride, or what's the name? Yeah, but iTunes and all that other stuff, so I couldn't figure it out. But for me, honestly, what it became, it was something I thought would be kind of fun to do, but then it became this huge community thing. I think on the first one, we had the fire department there, Chief Flanders was there, the amount of parents that got involved. I think we did 5. Did we do 5? I think we did 5, and we had between 40 and 50 kids every single time. We're going to pick it up. It got a little chilly. Although last a couple weeks, we probably could have done it again. We did kind of put it to an end just because it got cold. We'll pick it up again in the spring, and I'm hoping we can get more and more kids. I don't know if anybody, but I can't thank these people enough. The parents that got, so some, the Cronins and the Matzels, they didn't meet us at the staging area. They actually picked kids up along the way and then met us because they live off a different road and and then they would converge with all of us. So, but I can't thank all of these people enough who just, and I don't know if they want to jump out here to be seen, and I just came up with an idea and then they were like, sure, let's go for it. And it just says a lot about the community and the way people get involved in things. And it was just a lot of fun too. So I don't know if anybody wants to talk. Yeah. Laura, no, you know, there's zero pressure to talk from anybody. I'll talk all day if you want me to, but again, it was just this huge community thing is what it really became. And the kids loved it. I mean, they would get their jazz for school and, you know, you get a little exercise first thing in the morning and then you go to school and it's just a little, yeah.
My kids were asking to go biking every morning before school, even if it wasn't bike bus. They were super pumped. So yeah, it was awesome.
Do you want the mic? You just want to,
Yeah.
I'm a wicked genius talker. I didn't notice that. Now I'm just doing this, but yeah.
But I think obviously exercise is something we're always trying to encourage more and more of. So I think like getting it before school was really great and doing it as a group. That's what she commented. Like she loved it. It was a big group because we tried to bike to school a lot anyways, but doing it as a group made her that much more excited. And
Oh yeah, being with their friends was huge.
Yeah.
They got really pumped. Otherwise, maybe they wouldn't get together with them on a regular basis to bike, and they got to like see their friends and bike to school. So yeah, that's really fun.
I just think from a public safety point of view, we don't live in a community where every kid has the opportunity to ride their bike to school as much as their parents or friends want to ride their bikes to school because we have the Antrim 06, which is a very dangerous road. So this gave those kids who wouldn't normally be able to ride their bike to school and do something fun with their peers. It gave them that opportunity. Couldn't say enough about the staff and how they asked for hard work and stuff.
yeah.
It was funny.
I'll hold it as a case.
There were kids who first, when they did it, weren't really great on their bikes, and that was okay. And then you saw them over even the course of 4 or 5 times doing this, how much better and more confident they got on their bike. It was real. Like I was shocked at that. A little bit of, I don't know. I was a little shocked, but it was really. There was a couple kids that showed up with very literally little kids with tires were about this big, and they had to pedal a lot. But it was just an awesome thing, and we'll keep it rolling. And you guys are still in, right? All right, then we're going to keep it rolling. So I don't know if anyone has questions or anything like that. They can ask anybody. The music, I don't know if I got a poll on the music. Was it good? Thumbs down? Oh my gosh. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to listen to you.
So, sorry, I had a question about helmets. So I know,
Required.
yeah, I know required. I know that we had a presentation in the spring about the balance bikes.
Balance bike.
And I know that some helmets were donated also. If a child didn't have a helmet, was there some way to get them a helmet so that they could ride?
Yeah, so I had a box of helmets in the back of my cruiser. They didn't have them. We would have them.
Thank you. Thanks. That's awesome.
We did require that kids could ride their bike. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't ride it then because it was like a 1.5 mile ride. So it was a decent ride. And we did find we got stretched out sometimes when we had some really little kids, but it was fine. It all worked out. But we did require that you could basically ride your bike, start, stop, get up. And I don't think we had any accidents. Did we have any accidents? If we did, don't bring them up. It did look like that little girl was going off, but she was fine. She brought it right back. But you know, it was all good.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank all of you.
I said transportation problem solved.
Look at that.
Can I ask a question about the pedal bikes? Do we know where they are, or the balance bikes? Do we know where they are in the rotation?
I saw them at Boscawen the other day.
Yeah,
They were
Bosco.
just at Bosco.
Because if we could get them to Loudon before the next bike bus and give those kids.
So they are going to be in Loudon in the spring. The
Okay.
PE teachers have a schedule
Schedule.
worked out.
Cool.
Jeez Louise, I'm freezing.
It is freezing in here.
Okay, next on the agenda, student representative Nick Jelinas
With the best.
with the best.
All right, I got to turn my lights on here. See.
Okay,
Oh, there we go.
there you go.
Now I'm
I
all
think you
lit
should.
up.
I think you should stand up.
Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah. I think last year I took the tie from the other one, but I was wearing this one last year.
Yes.
That darker color. But alrighty, now I'm feeling all jazzed up for Christmas. But alrighty, Starting off my report
See that little
today,
girl.
this Saturday, December 7th, LES will be hosting its annual Santa's Breakfast and Craft Fair run by the PTA, which will take place at LES from 8 to 1. Pennacook Elementary School will also be hosting their Santa's Breakfast this Saturday from 8 to 11. So if you want to go to one place, get your pancakes, and go to the other and get your pancakes and go shopping, you can do that. On Saturday, December 14th, the Merrimack Valley High School cheer team will be hosting the second annual holiday craft fair here at the high school from 9 to 3. Eighth graders enjoyed a trip to Washington, D.C. It was COVID, so I never got to go, but
Oh,
highlights included visiting iconic landmarks such as the U.S. Capitol, the White House, and the Lincoln Memorial, as well as exploring the Smithsonian Museums and Arlington National Cemetery. Both the high school and middle school welcomed author and CEO Ty Gagney, who presented and shared a story from his essay, Emotional Rescue. So pretty much he came before we left for Thanksgiving break. The story was really great. It was about one of his friends who was a part of a rescue team on Mount Washington, and he was just going up on a day to hike, and a big blizzard came in, and she ended up saving someone up on the mountain. And that essay also served as the inspiration for a 2022 film, Infinite Storm. So if you go online, I'm sure you can find the film. So really cool. We will be hosting a MVHS Athletics College signing ceremony on Wednesday, December 11th at 5:30 p.m. in the auditorium. We will honor all 2024-2025 senior student athletes who have committed to play college athletics at the Division 1, 2, 3, NAIA, or junior college levels. The music department is preparing for winter concerts. The high school will host their winter concert on Thursday, December 12th at 6 p.m. here at the high school. And then the middle school concert will be the Tuesday before, so Tuesday, December 10th at 6 p.m. Also here at the high school. Also, Allstate has come out for the music department here at the high school. Allison the Montaigne got first in the state on trumpet. Hannah Ober got second in the state in clarinet, or on clarinet. Nathan Bayless was third in the state in tenor voice, and Ellie Andrews made the treble choir. So we have a lot of great musicians here at the high school, and today was actually the first day of auditions for our musical Into the Woods. Out in the lobby, there is a big white bin where you can bring your plastic bags. So every month now, you can bring your plastic bags. These are for my Eagle project. So you can bring those in. Once I get 1,000 pounds, I will put them in for a bench through Trex, and that will go towards my Eagle project. And I have some jokes today. Why is everyone thirsty at the North Pole? No well. And why shouldn't you lend money to an elf? Because they are always short. And that's all I have.
thank you, Nick. Thank you. Next, committee reports. The first one is Transportation Committee.
Look at me. So Transportation Committee just
So-
met.
No. Oh, I was gonna say, membership.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we
Sorry.
need another member. How does that work?
Don't everybody jump. Who wants to be on transportation?
Well, I do have a question. I suppose since it was Owen who had filled that seat, wouldn't it be the newest member from Bosquen would fill that seat, or are we?
I don't think necessarily.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know that we've done it.
She
That,
already is the new person for Boston.
I don't know that we've
Well,
done
we
it.
have an empty, right, we have an
Right.
empty.
I don't know. Like, are you talking about like the possible person who is replacing Owen?
Yeah, to just.
I don't
fill
think we've done
their
that
committee
before.
seats.
I don't think we've never worked it that way before. I don't think, have we?
With a couple of meetings left, you could have the person just pick up where Owen's committees, because they'll change in March.
True.
That's later on in the agenda, the Bosquen open seat, so
Mhm.
you could bump the transportation change to after that and see how that works out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, unless, somebody's desperate to get on transportation, go for it. But I just figured because that is actually what happened when I jumped on the board a few years ago. I just filled all of the slots. So,
Doesn't have to be that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been on transportation before, so if you need somebody and it's easier for the new person not to take on everything, I'm happy to just jump back in for temporarily. I've done transportation before, so.
So one of the reasons I came up, there was a tie vote in a 4-person transportation committee meeting prior to this. So that could be.
Did we pick new times for the next transportation meeting?
No, we didn't.
No.
You can now, though.
When are you guys available? We wanted to look at.
Cool.
How about January 13th at 5?
I could do that. Monday. Our Mondays are your not good days. Is any other days?
Do we want to just work, there's 3 of us that are on finance and we have 2 finance meetings. Do we want to just do it after a finance meeting in December?
I can come to, I'm not finance, but I'll probably be here, and I can come to a transportation committee meeting.
Would that work?
That works.
Yeah.
And which one was that? Which one do you want to do that on?
We have
The
the
10th?
10th or the 17th.
So-
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Then she could make that.
Okay.
So if we did December 10th at 6.
Okay. Is that Tuesday?
Yeah, she drives.
Let me note it so I don't walk away after the meeting.
So the 10th at 6.
That'll be in the SAU.
You're assuming the new person can do that.
I'm texting her right now.
Who are you texting? You're texting Noel.
No.
Yeah.
That's important to cover that.
Yeah, I've put it on my calendar, so if you need a 5th person, I can certainly be there. Just
Well,
6 o'clock, right?
you should be there for finance.
I should be there for finance.
Yes.
On finance?
Yes.
Oops. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I totally messed that up. I was not thinking I was on finance. Okay.
So you should be there
I'll
for finance first.
Okay, I don't have finance on my calendar, so that's my problem.
Okay.
So finance is at 5?
Yes.
Okay.
On the 17th as well.
On the 10th.
On
Yeah,
the-
we have it on the
Oh,
10th and then
yes.
again on the.
Yeah, well, I was gonna-
17th.
Finance is, coming up.
Oops, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. I feel like an idiot. Okay, finance at 5 and transportation at 6. But I'll be here anyway.
So do you want to talk about what
So,
happened at transportation today?
The big ticket item is purchasing 2 smaller 14-person buses with wheelchair access. These are separate buses from the annual yearly maintenance. They are going to be, can you read? Do you have that pulled right up? If not, then they are going to be used if purchased right away into routes
So
to
they're-
pick up children.
2 14-passenger wheelchair accessible buses that would necessitate a different type of licensure than the large buses, which is going to create some space in our driver pool. We currently have people that have that licensure, but they are working as monitors because they're not able to drive the larger buses. Yes, she has a plan to put both of these immediately into service, and it appears that a lot of that would be taking place in Webster and Salisbury.
Each bus is 106 change,
16880.
880. So that's what we discussed.
Any questions for Dan or the committee? Okay, Finance Committee. So Finance Committee met on 11/12, 11/19, and then right prior to this. The The minutes for 11:12 and 11:19 are in your packet. And Randy, you can report of what we discussed.
I have nothing to add. That was because you weren't there last week.
Oh.
I think that's the only reason you're closing.
Okay. We discussed today, so some things that we talked about today were the final numbers for the tech when it came in today, or came in this week, I should say, not just today, but came in this week. And we are meeting again, excuse me, next Tuesday and the following Tuesday. So we will bring that back to you next. We'll bring the budget to you to vote on next in January. Policy, oh,
Can I ask a quick question? Is the meeting on the 17th at 5 as well?
yes.
We have some late breaking news. Can we move the transportation meeting to December 17th? At 6 o'clock, same time.
Same bat time.
So instead of the 10th?
Instead of the 10th, it'll be moved to the 17th. Still at the SAU. Okay.
Oh, I see. Late breaking news.
So you're saying
And here.
Noel will be there?
On the
That's what
17th.
We're just
Perfect.
confirming that.
Thank you.
She had a conflict on the 10th, so, and with the idea that the committee members wanted her there.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Next is the policy committee. They met on 11/4. Minutes are in the packet. And we have a bunch of policies to discuss today.
So we had a work session as well because we were scheduled to meet on November 18th, but we didn't actually have enough members to have a meeting, but we did do a work session. So hopefully after the meeting on the 9th that we are scheduled for, we'll have some policies for January to move forward. But we do have 4 in the packet that are for second read. 3 of them were in the packet last month and 1 was in the packet the month before. I didn't hear any feedback on any of the policies that are in there. We have, let me grab them real quick. Oh, thank you. So we have the harassment of students policy, harassment of employees. Those are ACAA and ACAB. We also have the JIE, which is the pregnant students policy that we reviewed. And then from before, we had policy IHBH, which was the extended learning opportunities. I don't know if anybody has any feedback on those today, but if not, we would be looking for a motion to accept those. We could do them as a slate because they're all at a second read.
I have a question.
Sure.
How does the proposed draft, the differ from the old policy? Yes. What
Grab
were
my
some of the
notes.
changes that were made to the pregnancy?
While she's looking for that, I can speak to ACAA, ACAB, and JIE were all revised to align with new Title IX regulations. So they're pretty much directly from our lawyers, Drummond and Woodson.
I don't have that. I gotta just look at the draft in the packet. 'Cause I don't have my notes. It's the last one. Okay. It looks like a lot of this language was related to that Title IX. The updates had to do with who we reported to. We also made corrections to punctuation and stuff like that, but a lot of this had to do with those Title IX updates. And it was more inclusive of who to report to, and I feel like there was something else, but I don't remember what it was. I didn't feel like any of them were like huge substantial changes.
So just more in line with Title.
Yeah, more in line with the Title IX updates. I'd have to go back and look at my highlighted copy at home, because apparently I don't have it with me.
Anyone else with questions? I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept ACAA, ACAB, JIE, and IHBH, the last one?
Yes.
Thank you. So many acronyms.
Thank you. Any other discussion on them?
Great.
Where's the last one?
I was gonna say, I might want to amend it because I don't see it in this
Yeah, I
packet.
don't
No,
see
they're
it.
all in
They're
there.
all in there.
Oh,
it
it's
is.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
in there. I
Wondered.
did double check because like we
you.
missed one last time,
I
so.
thought I read it.
All
but I
those in
said-
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okey doke. Then the curriculum committee met on 11/18. The minutes are in your packet. Catherine,
Sally, do you want to speak to that? Or do you want me?
Sally?
The curriculum committee heard from Jess Jakes, who is the math coordinator?
Specialist.
Specialist, sorry, I have flipped away from the page. And she led us through some of the thinking that led to some of the changes in the curriculum that brought us to our current curriculum. And let me see, I'm sorry, I flipped to the policies and I've misplaced the curriculum notes. There we go. Okay. So back in 2018, 2019, the middle school math department moved to a program called illustrative math. And one of the reasons for this, as I understood it, was that the students who were at the, who struggled the most, and students who were at the top of, who tended to excel in math were actually falling behind. And so there was an attempt to try and bring those students along and allow them to develop more facility with mathematics. And they have met with some success, and it was, she was great, very good presentation there. Going forward, we're going to continue to hear from other specialists in other disciplines, and as the minutes note, we hope to hear from Unified Arts, World Languages, Physical Education and Wellness, Performing Arts, and so we're basically just going to be rolling through, the various departments that the district offers.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for the curriculum committee?
Do you guys have another meeting on the schedule already?
Yeah, it's January 6th.
January.
Okay. I'm
At
just trying to write
5:30.
them all down, 'cause now I realize I missed some, so.
That's, it says tentatively, I'm assuming it.
I think, is it to be approved tonight? Is that why we're trying to make sure that
Oh,
everybody's all set?
it says, Sally, it says the curriculum committee is tentatively scheduled for January 6th at 5:30. Is that tentative or is that written in stone?
Let me see, I'll check my calendar.
Okay,
I have confirmed that date now with the people that will be joining the
Okay.
committee. So
'Cause
that's what we were
that
waiting
was sort
on.
of the, I
Okay.
wanted to make sure that the performing arts teachers were able to join us.
So they're there, Jan 6th.
thank you.
And you probably should make sure that policy people know that we did try to set a date of December 9th for a meeting, because we only had 2 people at the table last time we met. So, I think we did, December 9th. I wanna say 5:30. Yeah, we did 5:30 on the 9th. I don't know, is the 10th, I'm sorry, not the 10th, is the 16th better for people?
It's 6 to 1, half dozen the other for me. I can do either date.
I know that the.
Huh.
Okay.
Oh, 16th will not work for me.
I was gonna say, I would have a hard time making 5:30 on 16th, because I have another commitment for work that night, but,
I mean, you can keep it on 9th, I just know that I was one of the ones that didn't work the last one, so. I just wanted to-
Is Owen's spot missing on that?
no, we had a number of.
Yep,
people who
no,
had
no, I
last
just
minute
didn't know if-
conflicts, So we did a nice job, Sally and I and Catherine did a work session, so we worked on some of the nuances and the commas and punctuations of the policies that we're gonna be reviewing, but it'd be really, really good for everybody to take a look at them on the committee if we could, so. So we'll keep it the 9th unless anybody else can't do the 9th. Not that I want to exclude Julia, but I feel like the 16th isn't gonna work for more of the members, I believe. So the 9th at 5:30. Thank you.
Okay, so next on the agenda is old business. The Bosquen seat. Is Lisa Marie here? Okay, well then I guess that is moot for tonight. New business. Lunch prices, Catherine.
So I know we had talked about the potential to consider raising lunch prices earlier in the year. Our food service director, Wendy Leclerc, used the paid lunch equity tool that's provided by the federal government to calculate recommended price increases. Currently, we charge $1.65 for breakfast at all levels, and for lunch, we charge $2.50 at the elementary, $3 at the middle school, and $3.25 at the high school. So the PLE tool would recommend that we are in fact raising our prices. The PLE tool estimates that the cost of a lunch is approximately $4.52. That's just your food on the plate. And again, this is a general tool that's sent out to everyone. So we would ask that the board consider a minimum increase in price of 25 to 50 cents, and for that to begin on the 2nd of January.
Does that mean we eat the rest of that $4 price?
Well, to a degree, it depends, if you're free and reduced, the amount of reimbursement that we're getting
We
back
potentially get some reimbursement.
Okay.
occurs at varying rates for each level, whether it's full pay,
Right.
free, or reduced.
Okay.
But yes,
Could you repeat the high school lunch for me? The
325.
325, thank you.
So it's a 25 to 50 across the board from breakfast.
Just
breakfast,
lunch.
$1.65 everywhere.
Right, but
The increase.
25 to 50.
Yeah, and we would look to increase the price of breakfast as well.
Oh, I thought it was just lunch. Sorry.
So is it
Well, I mean,
25
again,
cents
these are things for the board to,
collectively, or each item has to either go up a quarter to each?
again, so this is sort of for the boards to discuss.
We're gonna nickel and dime.
And perhaps it's something that we want to look at on a graduated scale. If we want to say 25 cents on the first, and then at the start of the third trimester that we go up another 25 cents. So, I mean, that would be for you to
When's
to
the
consider.
next trimester start?
Well, I would say that after the Christmas break, it would be a nice time for us to after the natural break, we can communicate that and get that out there. And then I believe it is in March, mid-March, when we would start the third trimester.
So I had a couple questions.
Sure.
I don't believe it.
You did? I'm stunned.
Surprising, right?
Yeah.
Is there another tool? Is this the only tool that is used to suggest increases? Is one question. Second question, has Wendy looked around to different districts and inquired what their lunches cost, what they're charging for their?
We're part of a regional buyers group, so we're all pretty much buying the same. Well, it's the correct answer. It's the only one. Thank you for testing me. But that buyers group does put us in a very similar situation with other districts.
So it's the same quality of food too,
Ours is much better.
which is saying something.
I have a hard time getting behind raising the price only because I hear almost weekly that they were giving away free milk today because it was gonna go bad. And it's like, well, if everybody's over ordering and they're throwing away or giving away milk, then what is to say that they're not doing that for food?
I understand that that may be something that your students are coming home and saying. I think I might inquire on the day that that occurs directly with the building principal as to whether or not that is actually what the situation is. I think on occasion, situations arise where we are dealing with expiration dates fast approaching, but I would, I don't think that that is the general case that's happening. And I do know from my experience in the school, usually our lunches, there's not a tremendous amount of extra food left. In fact, something that the kitchen managers are always getting after teachers about is making sure their lunch counts are accurate so that when the final lunch ends, they have enough food to ensure that all kids are getting the appropriate portion.
I
Peggy?
know that you send out forms at the beginning of the year encouraging people who fall under the need for free and reduced lunches. And I know that you probably don't get the response, an accurate response from need to the response. There's more people who need it than respond to it. With that being said, I worked in the school for 30 years where I saw kids go without food, just no food. One, they do too, right? And or whoever has worked in a school district. Because they either one, can't afford it, or two, will not take the free lunch because of the stigma that is attached to that. And as we know, kids they cannot function if they're not fed. And they're not guaranteed breakfast in the morning, and all we can do is give them a chance at lunch. So I hate to see the food prices go up. We've seen an increase last year. I think we went up to 20 cents we voted in. I know that the prediction, and I know we don't like to eat it, but is there other ways that we can get, entice people to fill out the forms and make getting free lunch less stigmatized? Well, Tracy, I think you should just pass a house bill that all kids can eat for free.
I was just going to say that. That is something that I would love to see happen. We did it during COVID, and that's something that I have already talked about with my fellow newly elected representatives. This probably isn't the place to talk about that, but that is, I believe that that's what should happen also.
I'll just touch on a couple of your points, Peggy. It's not just the beginning of the year that we get the free and reduced. And when a lunch deficit, if somebody owes money, the email goes out with the link to that. And there really is no stigma to a free or reduced lunch anymore, because it's all based on a student ID number. It's not like, back maybe when we were kids, you would get a peanut butter sandwich on a styrofoam tray. They get the same lunch. In fact, the folks in the lunch line that are the checkers don't know that kid. They just know that they got a lunch. So the only one, in fact, Catherine and I don't have access to this data. We have to reach out to Wendy for free and reduced lunch numbers. So there's really, you walk up with your ID card, you're going through that line, getting a lunch. There is no way that anyone can tell that it's a free and reduced lunch. So I think we've removed that part. But, as far as getting people to fill out the paperwork, and we've also tried to push like the gray area. So if it's $44,000 for a family of four and you make $44,001, all of a sudden you don't qualify because there's a hard line. So we've been really trying to push. Our social workers have been getting out. We've had folks doing home visits and try to do that warm handout, help them with that that paperwork. So we've really, because there's other funding that's also attached to that as well. So some of the revenue that we get is based on that. We want, if folks are eligible or even think they might be eligible, we do what we can to get them to fill out that paperwork.
Yeah, and I would just add, if we observe a student going without food, we're going to offer them lunch regardless of whether or not they have money on their account, they're free or reduced, they're going to be offered a lunch.
And that's all great, but I can't really see raising the cost up to 50 cents per lunch.
So I just do want to raise the reason that we're bringing this forward is because, yeah, we have persistent lunch debt.
Every year.
So, and that is something that we contend with every year. So I'm not looking to charge our families more for food, but just asking us to consider.
Can I
implications.
ask, do you have either, and I know this is probably asking for way too much, do you have like a projected idea of how many like lunches? Because I'm thinking if like data would help me kind of make a decision on this. What do we have an idea of how much the lunch debt was last year versus the year before? Do you have any of those numbers?
Do you mean unpaid student
Yes,
lunch debt or
unpaid
the
student.
amount that we had to bail out food service?
Well, let's just say unpaid
I'd
student.
like both.
Okay, let's do
Yeah.
both. Why not? It's a grab bag.
Well, Catherine can speak to
Okay.
the unpaid student debt maybe for this year so far. So you have a number or what that number was last year. As far as the bailout of food service, I'd have to dig a little bit into those numbers. I can get you those.
So this year so far, we're around $13,500 in lunch debt. I don't have the individual years broken down here. I have the Q.
But if the lunch costs $4.25 and we're charging
$325 at the most.
$3.25 at the most,
Right.
then we know each day
We're incurring debt.
we're incurring debt
And
in the hundreds.
this
if not
program is
thousands of
saying that's
dollars.
How much it's costing us, or is that a guess?
It's not a guess. There's a mathematical equation that they use,
That
and
they
they have
use,
these.
Yeah.
It's a
No, it's
whole-
not a guess.
Right.
It's a tool that's put out by the federal government in order for schools to make informed decisions about establishing their lunch prices.
Nick, you had a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, here at the high school, we do see a lot of people get like 2 lunches during the day. Like sometimes I'll be like super hungry, so I'll have to go back in for like a second meal, which can get kind of pricey. So I was just wondering if if the prices are going up, would there be a way for students to get more on their plate or have a bigger portion, especially here at like the high school? Because high schoolers sometimes like 5 chicken nuggets isn't gonna do it for the day. Because like these Hershey's cookies are like really, really good. And I usually store a few because like during the day I'll get hungry or something. So I don't know if there's just a way to maybe put the portions up if the prices are going up just a little bit. I think would help the high schoolers especially.
Yeah, I have a couple high schoolers at home. I'm familiar with your hollow legs.
Yes.
I think so. Portions are differentiated by level as well. And Nick, you just pointed out your cookie. So that's from the snack bar, right? Okay.
Yes.
Correct. So
The a la carte.
yeah, so that like doesn't come with your lunch. That each one that you get is like an additional price.
Thank you, Nick.
Yes.
Is it,
Well, if we're gonna try and.
if we're gonna try and get the price increase on January 2nd, then yes, we would need to make a motion today. But certainly, I mean, it's up to the board.
Could we look to see what other districts are charging just to see what they're charging?
Sure.
May I make that preferably districts that are like ours, because we can't, Concord has a double the operating budget that we do, so,
Yeah.
even though we share with
Sure,
them.
comparative.
Yeah.
Sure, and I can bring that information to our next meeting.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
And in the meantime, find whoever it is. We don't want this stuff.
Mr. Beast.
Right. No, really. And remember, speak to your legislators. Kathleen?
We had a resignation of a teacher who has been out on leave since the start of the school year. She resigned as of the 30th of November. We have replaced her. The person who was filling in for her has offered to stay for the remainder of the year. So just an update that she has submitted a resignation, but we filled the position already.
And,
At Loudon, especially.
and, how are we handling the
That if we're gonna discuss that, we
We-
need to do
okay.
that in non-public.
non-public? Thank you.
Can
Thank
I
you.
also ask the person who's filling the position, is it just considered a one-year position or is, like, are they hired? and-
Hired.
Got it, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They were already in
Will
the,
qualified.
Correct.
they were already in the school.
This
Right.
person will qualified and certified. now.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, that's-
I just wanted to make sure that they weren't gonna come back around in June and be like.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, next is manifests and journal entries. They were available for electronic review and some people reviewed them.
I found them. Thanks to
He's all good now.
He's all good. So, and I'm assuming you signed it. I signed it.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't sign it, but it still says Sealy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we figured that out
Yeah.
Okay,
today.
thank you.
So action is required. Can I'd like to,
I'll
Have a
make
motion?
that we accept the manifest and journal entries.
thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Now that I read them.
Any questions? Besides the ones that we've already asked, but all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Tracy,
Excellent.
I need to abstain. I could not open the folder. It just
Okay.
would not function for me. So,
Okay. Thank you.
no, it just wasn't like it would not
I was
open.
gonna say, I'm not against that one.
Thank you. Thank you, Sally. Okay, Assistant Superintendent's Report. Catherine?
Sure. So this past month, Randy and I have worked to complete our administrative team check-ins to touch base on progress towards goals that our admin had established at the start of the year. And there are certainly some exciting things happening in all of our buildings, and these visits, we certainly enjoy those, reinforce what we already know, that we're very fortunate to have a veteran admin team, and they're always looking for ways to grow and improve. And they're willing to independently take initiative towards those efforts. So that is really appreciated. In particular, I want to highlight the data that the middle school admin team shared with us around their efforts in positive behavioral responses. I talked about the high schools last time. And so the data is showing that they have seen a steady decrease in the past few years of office referrals and office issued consequences, which equates to students spending more time in the classroom accessing their learning. So that was certainly a positive thing. And Randy and I are looking forward now to starting our new teacher check-ins this month. So we'll meet with all teachers new to the Valley as well as Andover. We'll deliver them a hot beverage. We'll seek their feedback on the transition to the district and inquire as to ways we can further support them. I know we've talked to you a lot about the teacher shortage, so this is really an important part of our effort to ensure that our teachers are feeling positive, supported, and encouraged in those positions. So we're looking forward to that.
Did you want to do a report?
'Cause You left me out. Yeah. No, the only report I have is I'm retired now. So Superintendent's Report.
So between Nick and Catherine, I pretty much stole everything I was going to say, which is great because that way I'll be able to keep this short. So I just want to hit off what Nick was saying about Ty Gagney. If you've ever had the opportunity to hear him speak, he's phenomenal. And he had, that room was absolutely just locked into his story. He's a very good storyteller. I agree with what Nick was saying about that, but I didn't know about the movie, so I'm gonna go check that out. So I appreciate that. And getting to meet with the admin, just like we really enjoy the new teacher meetings, it really is, we know what a great admin team we have, and it just, every time we kind of set up these formal meetings just so that we can say, hey, let's put 15 or 20 minutes on your calendar so that we sort of make sure that we have that connection. And, to Catherine's point about them being independent with their goals, they know what they need in their building. We look for what support they need from us. And it's great to be able to do that. Wow, that's like getting a hook. All right, I guess I'm done. Hey, you can just tell me to stop. You don't have to yank the mic away. Jeez. If you've seen in the Concord Monitor lately, there's been some very, we have a lot of good news in the packet. We have a lot of good news in the Monitor. So Jeremy, thank you. Jeremy wrote both of the great articles. If you saw Jaden Taylor, who is a junior art student here, or a student who just happens to be fantastic in art, tells her story, which is great, and about the 6th grade class that's adopting a cow. So that's some great stuff. Those are the, some of those feel good stories. So we really appreciate that, Jeremy. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Topics for the next board meeting. Anybody have any that we have not discussed adding to the next board meeting yet?
The budget's going to take up a lot of our
I
time.
believe it is. I believe it is.
I think it will.
So that this doesn't become next board meeting stuff, I actually, there were a couple of oversights in my emendations to the minutes. I'm wondering if it would be possible to offer 2 additional corrections, or is that a real headache? I can also just let them stand. I don't know what the Roberts Rules approach.
You know what? I don't either. Now that,
Okay.
Good enough, you can do it.
all right. Go ahead, Sally.
Okay, sorry. So returning to the minutes from last meeting, item number 17, there are 2 things I'd like to change. One of them is to add a comma after Jones in the first line. So by Julia Jones, comma, second by Jesse Wheeler Russell. And then in the line beginning return to public session, motion to leave non-public by Jessica Wheeler Russell, second by, and then cross out that Jessica ahead of my name. And that's it.
I didn't even see that.
Thank you.
So thank you. Public comment? Public comment? Okey dokey pokey. All right then. Non-public? Not particularly. No. Nope. No non-public. So I would entertain a motion to say goodbye and Merry Christmas to all.
Well, you'll see them tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, tomorrow in Andover.
I will make that motion.
Tomorrow in Andover. Tomorrow in Andover at 6 p.m. Yes.
At the high school.
No.
No, we're in Andover.
Andover at the elementary school.
That's exactly. There's only one. Sorry. The Andover School.
What is it? AEMS?
Thank you. AEMS. Andover Elementary Middle School. Yes. Thank you.